Allaha rafiqun yuhibbu rifqan fi amri kullihi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gentle and he loves gentleness in all things. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. You're welcome back again to our Ramadan series on how we can earn the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, we are in the 16th day of Ramadan, and inshallah we'll be talking about the 16th quality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. We understand in our previous video we have spoken about amazing characteristics, important qualities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. And so if you haven't watched that, please go back to check on them, learn to understand them, get to know them, and start to practice them, so that at the end of the day we all, by the end of this Ramadan, will earn the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, the quality Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves is gentleness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he loves gentleness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allaha rafiqun yuhibbu rifqan fil amri kullihi. Allah is gentle and he loves gentleness in all things. In one of the narration, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was walking with his wife Nana Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha al-madam, and they met this group of people who were passing, and they yelled out at them that Samun alaikum. Samun means may death be upon you. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, being calm and composed, replied to them, wa alaikum, and upon you. So our mother Nana Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha become outraged as a result of how they talk to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she yelled out at them and said, wa alaykumus salam wal la'anatu, and upon you is a curse and anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Started to shout back at them, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam calmed her down, and she said to him, didn't you hear what they said? And he said, didn't you hear what I replied? And he said to Nana Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha in a very beautiful manner, Inna Allaha rafiqun, Allah is gentle. Yuhibbu rifqan fil amri kullihi, and he loves everything that is gentle. The default teaching of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is gentleness in all our affairs. So when you are being loud or aggressive or foul to represent strength, those attributes, those qualities are signs of weakness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gentle and kind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also has the attribute that denotes punishment. Those attributes shows by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't mean that he has stopped being Rahman Rahim, al-Ghafur al-Wadud, but rather means that the context that determines the type of response. When you read about Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you would know that he has received lots of insults in Mecca and Medina during those times, but his composure was unmatched. It was a sign of strength by him, and he wasn't like trying to make the enemies overcome him, or they get into their heads and take him away from his principle or ethics. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he speaks in a calm manner. He doesn't raise his voice, he doesn't go into aggression, and he doesn't cut people off when they get to that height, when the irritation gets to the maximum height. All those attributes, the composure he exhibited, were sign of strength by our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Considering that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, despite having complete authority over the whole universe, the entire creation, he chooses to show us gentleness and kindness. A lot of people would have committed a lot of crimes, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continued to bless them. But one thing you need to understand is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forget. So let us be careful when we find ourselves in the position of power. Let's try to be kind and gentle, not in a way that will cause injustice to others, but rather in a way that will stop us from becoming unjust to ourselves and departing from our natural core of goodness. In Allah rafiqun yuhibbu rifqan fi amri kullihi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gentle and He loves gentleness in all things. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us and place gentleness into our heart, Allahumma amin. And also allow us to compose ourselves in every situation we find ourselves, and take away the devil that will try to manipulate with our iman. Allahumma subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. I'll see you in my next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.